Hello, my virtual physics students. I'm so excited that we have this really unique and cool opportunity to learn physics in a virtual setting. My name is Hadley-Hulet. I'm a teacher at Desert Hills. I teach physics and chemistry, and my students call me Mrs. Hadley, Mrs. Hewlett, but most often they call me Mrs. H, and any of those work, whatever's easiest for you to remember. Okay? So what I want to do is just welcome you, take a moment to talk about the expectations of this course, and I'll show you what a traditional week will look like for this class. Okay? So first, this course is based in Canvas. So if you haven't accessed your Canvas account yet, here's how you go about doing that. So you're going to go to canvas.washk12.org. Now it's important you get that washk12 in there so that it recognizes your school email. Now if you haven't already logged into your Google account, it'll have you do that, and then it'll take you to your main Canvas page that will have all of your Canvas courses or your in-person, in-class courses that are using Canvas. Now ours is the Physics Virtual. So here's the two things that I really want you to know. First, the expectation is you would spend the same amount of time in this working on this class as you would if you were in my classroom, in-person class. Now it doesn't have to be at that set time, like we're not going to have class periods or we meet at a specific time. I'll put the material on a week at a time and you'll have the whole week to work through that material. But you will be working to get through everything between 3 to 4 hours a week, between looking at slides, watching videos, and turning in assignments, okay? Because that's how much time you'd be spending if you were in class. Okay? This course is not brought to a lower level just because it's online. And so along with that, physics is a great science credit, but know that physics is applied math. That's the language of physics is math. And so we're going to be using our math skills every single day in this class. And I'm going to work through all of that with you. I'm going to go through the problems step by step. I'm going to have videos showing you all the practice problems in your notes. There's going to be slides to help you. And on top of that, I have a Google meeting link right here. And I'm going to be here before school one day and after school another day that you can come in and you can join the meeting and we can talk through any questions that you have. I can go through and on the board work through any problems that you have together in a small group. Maybe it's just one-on-one. Okay? So I'm here to support you. And I'm so ready and excited to help you, and we'll work our way through this. But the expectation is that this is going to require your time, your hard work, and your math skills. Okay. With these Google meetings, know that every single one of them I'm going to record, and the reason why I'm doing this is it protects you. It protects me, and then if I end up answering the same question over and over, I see that we're struggling in a certain area, but I already have that answer that I've recorded through one of these meetings, then I can take that clip of that little part and I can then post it onto Canvas for the rest of the class. So when you sign the syllabus, that's one of the things that you're agreeing to, that you recognize that those meetings will be recorded and that you're okay being recorded in those meetings. All right. Now, here's kind of our welcome back. So we have the syllabus that needs to be signed by you and your parent and turned in. So let me show you what I'm going to be trying to do each time. So for the syllabus, here is the embedded document, but then I also have a link to the document because what I've noticed on my end is most of the time both of these work wonderfully, but occasionally there's a student that can only access the embedded and then there's occasionally that student can only access the link. And so I try to put both of them in for each item. Okay, so these are exactly the same thing. Okay, if you do not have a printer, I highly encourage either figuring out where you can go and print these documents. If you need to, get in contact with me, and I'm more than happy to make copies, and then I can like leave them in the main office of Desert Hills, and you can come and pick them up. But there's going to be a lot of times where it's beneficial for you to be working physically on a piece of paper instead of trying to fill something out online and running into those technical things. Okay. All right, let's take a quick moment to look at the syllabus. So you're going to want a binder for this class because I'm going to be giving you a set of notes for each unit, and so it'll be easiest for you if you get those printed and put in your binder. And then you're always adding to those notes, and we're doing the practice problems in the notes, and the assignments are based off the notes, which means that the exams are based off your notes as well. Like, that's kind of the big, most important thing you can do for this class, is staying on top of your notes and keeping them all together. This is accumulative. So what I mean by that is we finish Unit 1, we take the Unit 1 test. We finish Unit 2, and we take the Unit 2 test, but within Unit 2 test, I could be asking you anything from Unit 1. So it's important that you truly understand the material before you move on, and that you keep all your notes together so that you can go back through and be like, okay, yep, I remember this, oh, I don't quite remember that, and you look through it, or you join me on a meeting, or you send me an email and we talk through it. I want you to work in pencil and not in pen, because we're going to be making a lot of wonderful mistakes. Mistakes are great because that means a mistake is just an opportunity to learn something new. And so we make a mistake, we learn the concept, we erase the mistake, and we fix it. Okay? You're going to need a scientific calculator for this class. We're going to be doing lots of calculations. And it's important that you have your own calculator that you're familiar with, so that when you get to the exam, you're not worried about how do I run this new calculator. It's one that you've had and you've used and you practice with. Okay. We talked about the time expectations, late work. Anything that's received after the due date is going to be marked as late, and you'll get 50% credit on it. So be very mindful of the due dates of these assignments. How I'm going to set it up starting is that for the whole week's materials, I'm going to have the due date set at midnight Friday, okay? So I guess you could say 11:59 p.m. So you have the entire week to work through the material and get it turned in by the end of the week. And make sure you're keeping on top of that and you're getting it turned in before the due date or on the due date, so that you don't lose those points due to the late penalty. And, exams. You have 2 opportunities with every single exam. So you have, first, you can retake any exam, and the way that you go about doing that is you have to complete the review packet. Then you have to write a little note on the bottom saying that you want to do a retake and have your parents sign it so they recognize that you're doing a retake for the class. Then you will email me that completed review packet, and I will respond to that email with the access code to the retake. Now, it's important to note that the retake doesn't have the same questions as the original. The content's the same, but the questions are different. So you're not going to just see the same test over. You have to truly know the material before you come into the retake. Okay. We talked about your notes. Oh, I forgot to mention. Along with a retake, you can also do test corrections for any exam. and that one's less stressful. So when you get your exam back for the questions that you got wrong, if you email me the correct answers and explain why it's the correct answer, then I'll give you back a third of your missing points for that. And so what's nice about the corrections is you can do your research, you can take your time, you can come and talk to me about them, you can get help from other people in class, and so it's less stressful, but you get less points back. But for the retake, you can potentially get 100%. Okay. Now, along with this, grades are going to be 80% exams and 20% your practice preparing for those exams. That's your notes and assignments and any labs that we do. Okay. So here's the reasoning behind that. Your grade in this course should reflect your physics knowledge, and how you demonstrate that knowledge is through these exams. Now, I don't want that to stress you out. Just remember that you can retake any exam, or you can do corrections on any exam, but the goal is to truly obtain that knowledge. Once you get your score back for a test, you have to do your retake within 7 days of receiving your score. Okay, there won't be any retakes after that. We're going to do our best to do labs and try to find materials at home. If that's not possible, then I will film a lab, and you can then watch the video, make observations, and fill out a lab report. Okay. We talked about the virtual meetings. Here's the list of online tools that we'll be using, and then you sign it, your parent signs it, and then get that back to me, submit it on campus. Okay. Next, after the syllabus, we have a syllabus check, which is just an easy quiz. You can look at the syllabus if you need to as you take the quiz. Then we have a safety contract, which is just the typical lab agreement with safety items, and then you'll take a safety quiz. And here's the equation sheet that you can use on every exam, and you can use it as you go through and you take your tests and you work on your assignments. And so there's all the equations that could be potentially helpful this year. Okay? We have a lot of amazing stuff to learn. I'm super excited. All right.